Well, while here at the Glencoe store and restaurant here, I want to tell you folks, I had bean soup. And I'm telling you, bean and ham soup, and it was delicious. The flavor was delicious, the meat was fresh and good, and the beans were excellent. And the company's even greater, and here comes a fella in here who's 86 years old, you say?
83.
83 years old. And your name is?
Tip Crouch.
How you spell that?
T-I-P.
T-I-P. Tip is your first name.
Yeah.
And the last name is?
Crouch.
And how do you spell it?
C-R-O-U-C-H.
C-R-O-U-C-H. Tip Crouch. Well, Tip, my dad died about 86 years old. He died in 1992. And he pitched baseball down here for several of these teams. He was born in a place called Flat Creek. Now, that's right close to here, isn't it?
Yeah, just right up on top of the hill.
Right on top of the hill. He used to take his drives all down through here, over to Grant County and Dry Ridge and down here to Warsaw and Glencoe and up to Verona, where he had a fish dinner on Fridays at Herb's Fish Place. And Tip was just reminding me of the great cod fish that they had there every week, didn't they? And it was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, you worked with some folks that we knew, Paul Michaels and with Eaton Asphalt.
Yeah.
How long was you with them?
About 44 years.
About, oh my goodness gracious sakes alive, 44 years. Well, that's something. And with Paul Michaels and Dick Chris, and of course R.C. Durr owned that. And Mr. Durr, him and Bill Durr, were residents up there in Atwood, Kentucky, where I grew up on Martin and Moffett Roads. And Mr. Durr used to take me around with him to visit some of his coal mining places down in eastern Kentucky. And I served on the conservative caucus for all of Kentucky. And rode around with several of those folks, and Fritz Stein, who later was the executive director of the caucus. And Mr. Durr passed away. His brother Bill, the library's named after him there, in Walton, Kentucky. And you paved a lot of these roads and around here for Eaton Asphalt, didn't you, sir?
Oh, yeah.
And you remember Paul Michaels? I believe he's gone on to heaven. He was a good man, wasn't he?
Yeah, boy.
I think so too. And then Dick Christ, a good man. He was sort of R.C. Durr's right-hand man, wasn't he?
I think he was.
And then, of course, Bill Durr sold Farm Bureau insurance there for many years in Nicholson. Mr. Durr had all kinds of operations that he was in, and building and banking and etc. But it's nice to meet the grassroots person that did a lot of the hard work to keep the organization going, didn't you? And it isn't easy work to do paving and that sort of thing, is it?
It wasn't bad.
Takes a team, though, doesn't it? Takes a good team, doesn't it? But now, what was your parents' names?
Huh?
Your parents' names. What were their names? Your mom.
This is Galvin County.
I mean, your mom and dad. What was their names?
Alamay and Craig.
Okay. And they were born and raised here in this territory too, or?
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of changes, haven't you? Over 83 years. I have too at 77 years. I wonder sometimes what's happened to the place. But the good Lord seems to like He watches over us. I can just tell by talking to you, you're a good Christian man, aren't you?
Yeah, I try to be.
Well, I can tell you are. I try to be also. You got a church down here somewhere that you go to at all?
No, I don't go to church.
Well, you go to church with the Lord at home. Well, he always says where two or three are gathered together, he's amongst us. Now, how many brothers and sisters did you have?
Half brother and half sister.
Half brother and a half sister. And you still live here in Glencoe then?
Yeah, I live right across the railroad.
Right across the railroad. Well, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Now, where did you go to school?
I went to school down in Sparty and Old Warsaw.
Do you remember any of your teachers?
Oh, I had two that I remember. Both of them were stewards.
Stewards. Okay. I was going to say my dad's two sisters were teachers. They were older than him. One was Mary Stephenson and one was Beulah Stephenson. But I think they taught over in Grant County. My mom, when she was just a sophomore, now my mom was a Bingham. Do you remember any of the Binghams?
No, I don't think so.
There was one down here, I think in Gallatin County, Harold Ray Bingham. He lived down here. And then Roger Bingham was on the television show, on the old TV show they had.
Yeah. Survival show.
Yeah, he was on there, and I wrote the song for him and sang it and made him a DVD of it so he could pass it out to people when he went and made speeches. Do you remember seeing any of that? If you did or not. Goes something like this. His name is Roger Bingham. They call him Kentucky Joe. He hails from Grant County, but Crittenden is his home. A-traveling to the outback, old Roger he did go, surviving in Australia on that TV show. That's a little bit of it. He did a good job on there. Now that you've retired, anything that you're involved in that you're still doing?
Nah,
What do you do with most of your time?
just lay around. I ain't got nothing to do.
Well, yeah. Well, you still look great. Your mind's very alert. And I imagine you help a lot of young people out, don't you? Giving them some advice and helping them a little bit?
Yeah, help a couple of them a little.
Well, that's one of the jobs that God gives us all the way through life, is to help each other and lift each other up. And I can just tell that you're that type of person, because you wouldn't be talking to me if you didn't care. At 83. Was you in one of the one-room schools?
No, down in Sparty was, they had 3 rooms. First through 4 over on this room, and then this room here had the cafeteria. Then on this one over here was 4 through 8.
Is that right?
And what they do, some of the students that was making real good grades, doing
Yeah.
good, but somebody else down below them was having a little trouble, while the teachers let them help them.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? That's what it should be done. Yeah, absolutely. I taught advanced government and American history, and I never will forget. You remember a Reverend Poplarwell? Or a Dr. Poplarwell? Poplarwell?
No, I don't believe I do.
He's the one that gave me the history of Gallatin County, and a mayor of Warsaw. I think his name was Jack something, Ham maybe, or he was mayor for a long time. Then he passed away in Warsaw. But that was about back in 1987 that I did the history. But Poplarwell, boy, he was really knowledgeable on the history of Gallatin County. Then Clarence Davis, do you remember him?
Oh yeah, he was a judge for 20-some years.
Yep, I knew him. Now, has he gone on to heaven, has he?
Yep, he died here about 6 months ago.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I remember him from when I worked with Congressman Breckinridge. He did a good job for the county, getting
Yeah,
some
he did.
benefits. Did a good job for the county. Was there anything you'd like to say to the folks of Northern Kentucky?
Nah, that's all changed now. See, Jurgensen bought it out. Big company over in Ohio.
Yeah.
Went blue.
So that's who bought the Eaton Asphalt Company, did they?
Yeah, he bought Jurgensen. Jurgensen bought RC Dirt out.
Oh, did he?
Asphalt part of it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's an honor to meet you and sit with you and have supper here or lunch. And boy, what'd you have? Do you have some of that bean soup too? Did you have some of that bean soup, or what kind of bean soup?
Yeah, this is bean soup.
Boy, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I had too. It was good. This is a nice little place here, isn't it?
Yeah, this used to be, well, still is 2-story. But you go here, upstairs, you go up, had a clothing store up there and everything.
Is that right? Now, do you know anything about these pictures up on the wall here? Who they are or anything? I'll have to ask the owners here and see who they are. I just thought maybe you might know them. I guess that's a picture there of is that the original place here? I'll have to get up there and take a look at those pictures. Now this is George Henry Poland. Looks like December the 20th, 1916 to March the 15th, 1989. Community life, bringing it back to life. Now, I understand you might even have worked a little while with my nephew, Greg Stephenson, with Eaton Asphalt back years ago. Do you remember Greg? Real strong guy?
Yeah.
Strong young man. And we used to call him the horse. But he builds these cell tires now all over America that they have between 100 tall and 100 feet tall and 500 feet tall.